Good afternoon, MMTs. Bellwether. Price line once again on what a high flyer. Look at that, 966. The high of the day was 937, and the open was 936, and the low was 915. And this is an after hours earnings trade. Knowing how to get net long, we went from $927 straight up. They dropped it slightly to 927 again, which was toward the close. It was 927.50 cents. And we are at 968 right now and climbing. The bid and the ask is right there. Once again, let's take a look and see what it would look like on a 5-minute bar in the volatility with the headline release. It was at 927. There's that big pop. It's 970 printing now. So basically, what we have going on here is the stock continues to climb on the release of the earnings report. The earnings report, from what we're hearing from our resources, was okay. We will go through that with a fine-tooth comb. One of the things that we can say from a public perspective on the release, the public headline, is that so far Priceline delivered a number that beat by 28 cents, but the revs are only in line, and they guide Q3 EPS in line. That makes this an ultimate great all-time super 52-week bull high, and at some point when it runs up, we're going to short it and let it come right back down and trade the after hours price volatility in Priceline. It's an inline guidance. For Q3, they see EPS, that the EPS is right in line, the earnings per share. So MMTs, we're going to go over this as to what the super hype is. Okay. One of the things that we'll talk about is what the total gross travel bookings were, of course, approximately 27%. Okay. So there's a lot of things for us to look at other than the actual price. But by looking at the report that's coming across the lines, inline guidance does not warrant a price gap very much higher. We seen it in Tesla yesterday after hours, what a great position that was. This one will be the very same thing in the after hours roll, I can tell you. Earnings of $9.70 per share. That's 28 cents better than Capital IQ consensus. Their estimates was $9.42. Revenues rose 26.7% for Priceline. So they've been taking market share around the world in this business. Their year to year, that comes to $1.68 billion versus the $1.66 billion consensus. So that number is higher. And that's why we're seeing that after hours market. We're seeing this thing rip right below $1,000 shares, which is a monumental price for Priceline. It really is. We'll go through the rest of the report and how to trade this, how to short the high end of the gap of the actual price. That's called the headline earnings volatility in after hours. And you can make a monumental amount of money by getting net long real quick and using the buying power and the training that we give you to get these entries. So basically, when that thing took off as a torpedo, it never looked back based on that headline number of some of the earnings that I'm talking about. We'll go through those earnings with a very fine-tooth comb, and we'll get together with them on the conference call and listen to their conference call and see what they have to say. Remember, the price valuation is great for being long as it goes through its peaking price volatility. The headline volatility, it continues to go higher right now. And training my MMTs is when you want to take a look at it with us, we will look at this together as far as what that opening bell tomorrow morning gap and how this is peaking right now. And we can just see those numbers continue to rip higher right up here at $975 Once again, a super gap. How do I short and fade gaps and then buy? And why do I feel that the inline earnings is okay, but there's a time to short this? We're going to have some of our people short it right up here at the highs because it's going to come down a little bit. It's going to come down $3 or $4 or $5 off of these highs. So I will update everyone again. Once again, bellwether price lines delivers record numbers, and we're going to go through it. We're going to let it go up and see if it'll go all the way to 979.50. If it reaches that target, we'll have a limit to sell short because that's where the numbers, it's 976. It's got to go up to 9. It's got to go $3.20 higher from this area right here. So let's just say right below $980 is where we're going to look at the top end of the after hours earnings prints. We're still edging up. Remember, this is live. This is going on right now. This is not after the fact. So we're going to monitor when we can get a little intraday after hours price volatility. We're going to look and see, once you get long, you get all the way up here, but you got to come out. It's going to come down. So let's see if it hits right below $980.